Grace of God, of course, is always there, but the electoral politics is all about grace of people. Priority was my father any day, and after he denied it, so I was always ready. I was the probably the yes situation. See, he came in from Kanchiramji's movement, and that was pure politics of OBC, SCs, and the backward class. So my politics is a little different. It is about inclusive politics. We are in opposition, so we can work along with the government, or we have to push the government so that they can work towards the betterment of our people. That's why I like Mr. Nitin Gadkari as well, because he's never involved politics with his work. We had asked for a discussion on Manipur because it's been long overdue. He did not speak a word of Manipur during his 2.5-hour speech. So we had to be there. We had to make him understand, yes, this time the opposition is there, because for the past 10 years, they had a cakewalk. Earlier in the last parliament session, he used to say that एक अकेला सब पे भारी चल रहा है, and this time he said कि एक prime minister की आवाज़ को दबाया जा रहा है. So that is the difference when you have a strong opposition. For the past 10 years, we've already seen the divide in our country, and the politics that has been instilled on section that used to never discuss politics as well, because of the divide in terms of religion. We saw how the Prime Minister started changing his speeches. He came on to Mujra, Mangal Sutra. We've seen how random minorities have been heckled. We've seen the whole Kawad Yatra fiasco. And there was an instance in farmers' protests as well, when you have to just blame the people who are protesting by calling them Khalistanis, terrorists. I've always been the dust and the heat guy. Probably you can say I had seen a lot of movies that the son is going to take revenge on the father. So I had confidence. Washing machine was a big issue for the BJP, the number of seats that have come down. But the bigger issue that I think that resonated with my constituency and the people of my caste especially took upon themselves was the issue of changing the Constitution of India. And that's when I thought for the very first time as well that above everything of Ram Mandir and religion-based politics, there's still some hope that people still believe that above everything is the Constitution.
Hello and welcome to HT's weekly talk show, The Interview, and our special segment, Coffee on Sunday. Lok Sabha election brought in many young, fresh faces, Pushpendra Saroj being one such. At 25 years, he is the youngest MP to be elected. Educated in London, Pushpendra chose to tread the dusty streets of Uttar Pradesh to contest his first ever election. When he took on Vinod Sonkar of the BJP, it was not only to win but also avenge his father's defeat in 2019. Meetha Badla is how some described his victory. From a party that is at loggerheads with the BJP, guess which politician does Saroj look up to? It is none other than Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. We have with us this young man in this edition of The Interview. Pushpendra Saroj with us in our special segment, Coffee on Sunday. Welcome to the show, Mr. Pushpendra Saroj, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Let me begin with your decision to join politics. It was apparently a last-minute decision. So take me through the how and why of it.
Yes, it was a last-minute decision to get the ticket, but the preparations were already on. Then it was so close to the birth date being turning 25 just after I got the ticket.
You nearly made it.
Nearly made it, hence the youngest. So yeah, but we had started preparations way before when we spoke with the national president, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav. It was 1 year before. So he told me that you're gonna contest. So we got the ticket, we made it through, and now by grace of people we here.
By grace of people or grace of God?
Grace of God, of course, is always there, but the electoral politics is all about grace of people. So yeah.
But tell me, I think the COVID-19 had something to do with Mr. Akhilesh Yadav saying you and not your father should contest.
It not particularly COVID-19. My father was sick during the pandemic, and when he came back home, Mr. Yadav visited us. That's when he first met me, and he was convinced that he already has a perception that new people should come into parliament, either the lower or the upper house, and with a new vision. So that's when he told me that okay, maybe not him. If not him, then you are the one who will contest.
But how was it, and what was your first reaction to the fact that you would be replacing your father? Was it a no, no, let it be my father, or was it, of course, what you're saying is right?
No, the priority was my father any day. And after he denied it, so I was always ready. I was never in a no situation. You can always say that I was the probably the yes situation who pushed him. If not him, then it was me. And when he said that he's not going to contest, then I came up and I told him that I am ready and let's do it.
Would you see it as he sacrificing his seat for you?
No, he never wanted to contest, and it was never a sacrifice. It was Mr. Yadav's decision that if not him, then somebody from the family should, because he's done a lot of work in the constituency, and there are a lot of other factors that involve in electoral politics. So, if not him, then it was me, and everything got well, and everything turned out right. So, of course, it was him and me. We both contested this election together, and my entire family and the entire Samajwadi family.
You always said that you knew that you will always join politics, but that it would be so early is something that you had not bargained for. So, what are the dreams which politics has left unrealized?
See, firstly, that is true. Nobody wishes to join politics so early, but due to circumstances and everything going well, we came in, and I don't think so. There is anything unrealized and unfulfilled now, and now it is a new journey, new era, and probably you can say this is much more enjoyable being in the parliament than what was happening before.
Being the youngest MP in Parliament, you barely made it, like you said. How does it feel?
It still feels surreal, to be honest.
Fish out of water?
Yes, and still digesting it, still getting to know everything, accommodating to the circumstances and everything. But yes, now I have a responsibility as well that I have to fulfill towards my people. And apart from that, now I have a responsibility towards my father as well and myself as well, because this goals that he set and the bar that he set, and me setting my personal bar as well, it's very high. So I have to fulfill those as well.
How much is the gap between the bar he has set and the bar you have set, and how different is your politics going to be from his?
See, he came in from Kanchiramji's movement, and that was pure politics of OBC, SCs, and the backward class. So my politics is a little different. It is about inclusive politics, including everybody, and I am a representative of everybody, be it women, be it farmers, be it youth, or be it all castes and religions. So I've always been like this. So that form is a little different. And talking about the bar, he set a very high bar.
Which means what?
Which means that he's delivered in the constituency of Kaushambi also, he's delivered a lot. That was during his regime, when he was minister, when he was MLA, and he's been in politics for a very long time.
Yet he lost the 2019 election.
He lost the 2017 as well, and he lost the 2019 as well. That is also fine. Everybody learns from their mistake, and it was necessary that people should see someone else as well, if they can work for them or not. So I think now they've seen both in the Vidhan Sabha and the Lok Sabha as well. So now they made a decision that yes, nobody can work the way that he did. So the bar is also set high. My personal goals is also set high. We are in opposition, so we can work along with the government, or we have to push the government so that they can work towards the betterment of our people.
You know, this is something you've said in the past also about working with the government. But your party, the Samajwadi Party, is at loggerheads with the government. So, how would that working in fit in? Secondly, your person who inspires you is none other than a union minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari. So, somewhere in the Samajwadi politics, the BJP admiration for a BJP leader or the fact that you can work with the BJP doesn't fit in. So, just explain this to me.
At an individual level, we can always work together, because all of us are there to work for the people, to raise voices of our people, and to pass bills that are for the betterment of the people. So there is a common goal at hand. That's why I like Mr. Nitin Gadkari as well, because he's never involved politics with his work. Of course, there can be some who question that, but what I've seen, his work, his commitment, his discipline is towards the betterment of the people.
You know, what you say would be music to the ears of the BJP, but something your leader, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, may not wish to hear.
No, I don't think so, because he's been very open. There is no hard bound that you have to hate him or you don't have to talk to him in our party.
So, would you take Mr. Nitin Gadkari's blessings and advice and turn to him whenever you feel you're in a crisis?
100%. He's handled crisis very well way before. He's working towards a common commitment towards building a good India. Of course, there are other sections in the party that differ, but what I can say is individually I can approach him, individually I can ask for his help, and whatever my constituency needs, whatever my state needs, I can go up to him and ask for help.
You know, at one point you were asked that given your bent of mind, which is kind of pro BJP, would you join the BJP? And you said, they have not asked me. So, were they to ask you, would you have a rethink?
That was actually a bit of a joke, but I am very happy at Samajwadi Party.
What are the challenges of being the youngest and what are the advantages? One advantage can be that you can make a mistake and get away with it.
100%. That is always with the young ones. In the parliament, when I walk in the parliament, everybody is treated the same way. So that is one very good thing about the parliament. Either you're young or you're the most experienced in the parliament, it is all the same. Outside, people perceive us still as very young leaders. So sometimes that can be challenging in our constituency, in general, in public, but it's fine. It is the way it is. There is always two sides of the coin, so it's fine.
You know, you said that sticking to the text while taking oath was dignified. So I have two questions. One, that those who raised a slogan after their oath were not dignified. And second, how did it work when members of the opposition walked in to the well and started raising slogans when the Prime Minister was speaking?
So that was a personal choice, and I cannot speak for anybody else, but I think that is what I thought is the necessary thing to do at that moment. We were called upon for an oath. I delivered my oath, and that was it. The second part of the question is, when Mr. Modi was speaking, we had asked for a discussion on Manipur because it's been long overdue, and he did not speak a word of Manipur during his 2.5 hour speech. So we had to be there. We had to make him understand, yes, this time the opposition is there, because for the past 10 years, they had a cakewalk. They just walked all over the opposition, did whatever they wanted to. So there was a difference. Earlier in the last parliament session, he used to say that एक अकेला सब पे भारी चल रहा है, and this time when he came out at कि एक prime minister की आवाज़ को दबाया जा रहा है. So that is the difference when you have a strong opposition, and we were all there to fight for Manipur. We all wanted a discussion on Manipur because it's been long overdue. It's been so long, he's not spoken, he's not visited. It's his very own country. When you talk about stopping wars in other countries, why not our country? So that's what we wanted to make him feel there, and we wanted the people to know that there is an opposition this time.
Yes, but for someone who is against slogans, for you to really be part of the same sloganeering, how did that work and how did you adapt yourself to it? And did you think it was not dignified and it was wrong?
See, sometimes things are not dignified, but things are necessary. They have to be done. So I think it was one of those instances.
So, do I take it that whenever those situations arise, and perhaps they will several times, that you would be part of that group which would walk into the well rather than being seen on your seat?
I didn't walk into the well then as well. I will not walk into the well unnecessary again, never. That is just me. But what I can say is that whenever those situations arise, I hope they don't. I hope we're all given equal discussions, equal chances to speak for our people. But that is just not me walking out of my seat. I can stand up, but I cannot go into the well. Probably not yet. Maybe sometime.
Gradually, when you learn.
Maybe.
Okay. You know, you took the plunge, seeing the condition of the country in the last 10 years, to quote you, particularly the divide. Just explain this to me.
For the past 10 years, we've already seen the divide in our country and the politics that has been instilled on section that used to never discuss politics as well because of the divide in terms of religion particularly. Even during this election, we saw how the Prime Minister started changing his speeches. Then he came on to Mujra, Mangal Sutra. So that is not good. Even as a youth, and even as general public, that is not how the Prime Minister should deliver his speech. That's not what you hope from the Prime Minister. And me plunging into politics so early was a very big decision because of this as well, because for the past 10 years we've seen a divide that my age people had never seen. Probably earlier it used to be, maybe not, I don't know, but my age people had never seen. We were very enthusiastic when Prime Minister Modi used to deliver progressive speeches in 2014. We were the ones who thought that maybe there's a change coming in the country. I was included in that, I can say that. But what we've seen after 2014 is just opposite of what he used to say before that.
So, while on the divide which you spoke of and which really pushed you, are there any specific instances or any instance that left a mark and you said to yourself, this far and no further?
There have been a lot of instances. We've seen how random minorities have been heckled. We've seen the whole Kawad Yatra fiasco that happened. And there was an instance in farmers' protests as well, when you have to just blame the people who are protesting by calling them Khalistanis, terrorists. There were people heckled in my constituency. There were people heckled all over Uttar Pradesh. There were instances of lynching. We had never seen how Hindutva should be dominant upon some minorities and how people have started perceiving it, especially in Uttar Pradesh. And that comes out from their words, their way of thinking, their actions. So this kind of politics I've never been supportive of. Politics should be of progressive nature.
You know, while on your father, he was a product of discrimination. So, some instances which you heard while growing up, and did any of that change your thought process? And second, did you yourself face any discrimination?
Firstly, I didn't face any discrimination. My father was a very strong value person that he kept me away from all of this. My education has been in Dehradun and then abroad. But about my father, yes, he faced a lot of discrimination. There were a few instances when we used to live in the village and he faced discrimination from the upper caste, and hence he joined politics for his people.
What did that do to you? Did it impact your thought process?
100%. And there are still instances in village when we go and ask for votes. There are still some sections of upper caste that still deny us, they defy us, they don't want to touch us. There have been, so it is a hit, but it has to be improved. It will gradually improve.
Have you vowed to change that? And if yes, what strategy will you adopt?
100% I vow to change that, and the only strategy is quality education. That's it. That is plain and simple. Basic quality education. We have to provide an infrastructure of good education institutes, good teachers, and that is how it is going to change.
And you're confident it'll happen?
100%.
Do you see that happening during your term, or will it be decades and centuries before that happens?
Not decades and centuries, but yes, it's going to take time. And I've been trying. My goal is to study the way the Aam Aadmi Party has revolutionized the education system in Delhi, and I'm going to have a look at the schools as well.
You studied in an elite school, you went to London. From there to the heat and dust of Indian politics, how did that work? How did you handle it? And I believe after you won, you were so exhausted that the full day of your after your victory you spent with your family.
Yes, that is true. And I spent with the day with my all of my people, the team that worked hard for me for 2 months, and the heat and the dust was fun.
It was fun?
It was fun. See, when you have people around you, people who walk with you, people who raise slogans with you, who are there for you, every journey is easy. So it was pretty much fun, easy, and we had a very good time because we fought elections on what I call as muddas, the local people call it, and it is still that. It is still providing water, drinking water to our people, providing roads, infrastructure to our people, providing electricity. The basic necessities is what we fought elections on. So yes, it was fun. It was an experience of a lifetime.
It wasn't like, oh my God,
Never.
where have I landed?
No. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been my decision to join. So I was always ready for it. I am used to that. It is just the thought that I have come from abroad, the mainstream fiasco that yes, he's come from abroad, then it's going to be like that, like this. No, I've always been the dust and the heat guy.
You know, you defeated a two-time member of parliament and someone twice your age. How tough was your election, and were you at any point nervous that you would not make it? Or did it give you sleepless nights?
See, every election is tough. Yes, he was a two-time sitting member of parliament, but we are people. We together we fought very well. But yes, I was nervous in giving speeches for the very first time, meeting new people for the very first time, going out asking for votes. So all that process was nervous, but I got used to it. But never in doubt that I'm going to lose this election.
Why was that? Considering your father had lost to him.
Yes, so I probably, you can say, I had seen a lot of movies that the son is going to take revenge on the father. So I had confidence.
So, would you, like most, see this victory as a sweet revenge, or to quote Meetha Badla?
That's what the people of my constituency call it. So yes.
You would say that too?
Yes.
So, what is more satisfying, the fact that you're in parliament or the fact that you avenged your father's defeat?
I think both is equally there on top of it. But yes, being in parliament, working for my people, raising voices of my people is much more important. Sweet revenge and all, they just come along parallelly, so it's fine.
Coming back to your oath, you represent the Hindi belt, yet you took your oath in English. Tell me about that. Was it the London influence?
No, it was my decision, and my people had already told me that they had this idea that somebody who's very educated, we've elected him, and still in villages it's someone who speaks good English is the one who's considered a little literate and educated. So it was my very own decision to take the oath in English, but now whatever speeches I deliver in parliament, because my people are going to hear it, it is their voices, so it's always going to be in Hindi. But the oath was my preference of speaking in English.
Was it to deliver a message that here I am, a literate, educated MP amongst you? Was that the underlying message?
Yes, it was, and it got resonated in the entire constitution.
It did?
Yes,
Just explain that to me. How? What did people tell you after that?
When they heard my oath, they were very happy with it. They felt very proud amongst themselves that they had elected someone very educated, very literate.
And English speaking?
Yes, English speaking, and it was an idea that yes, I can speak in English as well, but I'm going to speak in Hindi so that your voices are resonating through me. I can do both as well, but Hindi is going to be, and English is done just for the oath.
Okay. So it was a conscious decision.
Yes.
And you felt that it's a decision which would take the message forward.
Yes.
Let me quote you yet again. I use my father's work and not his name, unquote. But surely you know that you were handpicked and your being a candidate and winning had everything to do with his name and influence.
Up until the ticket, yes, and I take it on my chin that yes, I was given the ticket. It was fairly easy for me than everybody else. And but after the ticket, when we walked into the elections, it was never his name. It was all his work, what we can do, what he has done already, and how can we fulfill the people's betterment in times to come. We used his work. That is 100%.
But coming back to my earlier question, if it was his work which you're talking about, why would he lose the election twice?
See, in 2019, it was a very different issue because all of that Pulwama thing had happened. See, 2017 was the state elections. That was when the wave had started, a new wave. That's when he lost the elections. Then came 2019. 2019 was all this happened, this nationalism issue and every not. And that's when the pattern started to change. That for the national elections, we'll vote for some party. For the local election, we'll vote for the leader, local leader.
Is it true that most or a large share of the credit of your win goes to Raghuraj Pratap Singh, the strong man of Kunda?
I think the win is for the whole people who voted, the voters of Kaushambi.
How much has his contribution been?
He has a lot of votes, and I thank him as well. But I think him connecting with us, his people resonating with us, gave us the margin that we have right now.
But associating with him and also going to see him to thank him post election, don't you think that contradicts your slogan or your thought process of healthy politics? Because he is controversial, he is the strong man, he is the muscle man of Kunda, and I don't want to use the words which are used for him on this show. But don't you think that really contradicts your stand? And does it in some way indicate that you are willing to make compromises?
We never made a compromise. His party never had a coalition with us. So he's got a large vote base as well. We cannot deny that. And we still talked about our vision.
So, what does it do to your slogan or your belief of following healthy politics?
See, I am still following healthy politics. I am still working for my people. I am still raising their voices in the parliament. So, my politics is still my politics of benefiting the people, working for them, and raising their voices. It's still going to be the same.
Yes, but going and seeing him and in one sense thanking him, doesn't it contradict or doesn't it send a wrong signal? For a young person like you, began on a clean slate.
I don't think so. The thinking of my people that yes, we've elected you, and they're more attached to me because of this election. It was my election. It was no one else's, not even my father's, not even his. And I don't think so. It is a contradiction.
Are you going to continue your association and, if need be, keep going back to him?
I think so. He's got a separate party. There are elections coming up. He's preparing for those elections. I haven't had a chance to speak with him since then, but I've met him once or twice, and the respect that he's given me, it's very nicely the way he spoke to me, and our relation is pretty much very nice.
So, if need be, you are willing to make political compromises?
I don't think so. There is a political compromise to be made. If the next time his party decides to contest elections, he very well can. If I get the ticket, then his candidate is going to be fighting against me, and then we'll have political fight in a very clean and a very dignified way.
Okay, coming to a little more comfortable turf. What are the things about Pushpendra Saroj that people do not know?
I don't think so. There's much to know about me because I'm a very introvert person, and I try to spend my time alone. And when I'm not doing anything, it is just me all by myself, probably reading a book, watching something. That's it. Nothing fun.
Nothing fun?
Nothing fun. Hence the politics, probably.
But you are the youngest MP to be elected. How much has your age been a contributing factor to your win?
It has been. I cannot deny that. I think we had this doubt before that will the people resonate with me? Will the people see me as their leader? Will they vote for me? Will they give their blessings with me? Will they even stand with me when I walk in? Once we started our journey and we fought the elections the way a local panchayat elections are fought, door to door campaign, and people started walking with me. It was a new face. It was a young face. So obviously I had that advantage as well. So yes.
So you don't think being young was associated with being inexperienced, and that did not go against you, and that, in other words, worked in your favor?
Being young worked in my favor, yes. I think a lot of people didn't get that idea that he is inexperienced and what can he do and whatnot, because I think people now have started believing that so what, it is everybody's has a first step, everybody has a first experience, and they've already seen a 10-year experienced leader that they didn't want to vote for. So
While talking of the Chief Minister, how much did the bulldozer politics back in your home state impact the election? And at a national level, how much did the enforcement director raids and the washing machine phenomena, which we talk of, have an impact, an adverse impact on the BJP?
at the local level, the bulldozer politics didn't happen a lot in my constituency. It still did for some sections, and that was the backward and the scheduled caste sections. So it had already been instilled that this is not the way it is going to be, we're going to change. Regarding the washing machine was a big issue for the BJP, the number of seats that have come down. But the bigger issue that I think that resonated with my constituency and the people of my caste especially took upon themselves was the issue of changing the constitution of India. And that's when I thought for the very first time as well that above everything of Ram Mandir and religion based politics, there's still some hope that people still believe that above everything is the constitution.
But tell me, how much do the people in your constituency or in the villages or rural segments understand the importance of the constitution?
They don't understand the particular lines and parts of it, they don't still understand their rights of it, but they still perceive it as something that has protected them. It is something bigger than the mandir or the masjid, especially my caste, and changing their entire thing that they have to fight again for their right and everything came into the fray. That's when they thought, no, then this is not going to happen, we're not going to let that happen.
Explain this my caste to me again.
My caste, I come from a scheduled caste background. So the scheduled caste and the backward castes, they took it upon themselves because it has been resonated to them that all of this was formed because of their right, which it was. So they took it upon themselves and they were like, which I didn't believe that it could have happened the way it did. Major issues like electoral bonds and washing machine, they don't connect to the ground. Yes, people in the metropolitans, educated people, they do look upon it that way, but not to the ground.
And it resonated with your caste. Why? Just tell me that.
Because they believe that the constitution is the one thing that is protecting them, that has given them their right. The right to vote is being given by the constitution, so that we used to tell them कि आपकी सुनवाई ही कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन संविधान की वजह से है, वरना कल को अगर बदल जाएगा तो शायद सुनवाई भी ना हो, हमारा मान सम्मान भी ना हो. So that is how they connect to it.
Finally, let me come back to your oath. What was the feeling or what went on in your mind while you were taking the oath and when you set foot in Parliament as an MP?
For me personally, it was a very proud moment. Nobody so young could have ever imagined it, and neither did I. So yes, personally it was a very proud, surreal moment.
Pushpendra Saroj, thank you very much. Thank you for your time and thank you for taking most of my questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.